So what if I told you that the world's most influential leaders, they all share a secret weapon? And this thing has nothing to do with AI or new tech or whatever the latest business trend is. Let's find out what it is.
What if the key to navigating our chaotic, kind of disruptive future was actually buried thousands of years ago? Today, we're going to dig into exactly that, how an ancient philosophy is giving leaders the ultimate competitive edge in our world right now. So why are we talking about some dusty old philosophy? Well, because in the modern world, it's actually become a bit of a secret weapon. I mean, just think about it for a second. We're living in this age of nonstop information, markets going up and down, and just a ton of global uncertainty. If you're in any kind of leadership role, it's got to feel like trying to steer a ship right through a hurricane. You need an anchor, and that's exactly what Stoicism gives you. It's a framework for building real mental fortitude, for making decisions based on solid principles, not just panic. It's about being proactive instead of just constantly reacting to all the chaos swirling around you.
But, to really get its power, we first have to understand what Stoicism actually is, and maybe more importantly, what it isn't. Because there are some huge misconceptions out there.
Yeah, this is where we really need to flip the script on a super common myth. A lot of people hear Stoic and they picture this emotionless robot, right? Someone who just suppresses every feeling they have. But the reality is, it's the total opposite. Stoicism is this practical guide to becoming proactive and resilient precisely because you understand your feelings, not because you bury them. And look, this is not some new fad. It started way back in ancient Greece, and then it was embraced by some of the most powerful people in the entire Roman Empire. We're talking an emperor like Marcus Aurelius, a top political advisor like Seneca, and now it's made its way all the way to the modern boardroom. And here's why it's still so incredibly relevant. Think about what they were dealing with: political instability, managing these huge, complex systems, personal adversity. I don't know, sounds an awful lot like the pressures facing leaders today, doesn't it?
So how do these ancient ideas really translate into a modern mindset for a leader? Well, it all boils down to a few core principles.
First up, you've got amor fati, which basically means love your fate. Now, this isn't about being passive. It's an active choice to see every single thing that happens to you, especially the setbacks, as a necessary and valuable opportunity to learn something and get stronger. Next is memento mori. Remember, you will die. I know, it sounds a little morbid, but it's actually this incredibly powerful tool for focus. When you remember your time is limited, it helps you cut through all the trivial distractions and really make sure your actions are aligned with what actually matters. And finally, we get to what is really the cornerstone of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. It's this absolutely crucial skill of figuring out the difference between what you can control and what you can't. A Stoic leader learns to pour every ounce of their energy into their own actions, their judgments, their mindset, and then learns to accept everything else. You can actually see this in modern leaders. Take someone like Jeff Bezos. His relentless focus on the long-term vision and the customer experience, all while staying calm during huge market swings or public criticism, that is a masterclass in the dichotomy of control. He focuses his energy where it's actually going to have an impact. Okay, so that's the theory. But the real beauty of Stoicism is just how practical it is. So let's look at a toolkit you can use to put this stuff into practice. It really comes down to 3 simple but super powerful exercises. First, Stoic journaling, just like Marcus Aurelius used to do, to reflect on your day and get some clarity. Next, there's negative visualization, which is basically mentally preparing for worst-case scenarios to build up your resilience. And finally, making it a daily habit to ask yourself one simple question: is this thing in my control? So, ready to give it a shot? Here are your first steps. You can go straight to the source and read the originals: Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. You can start a daily reflection practice. Figure out the core values that are going to guide your decisions, and consciously practice gratitude to build up that resilience. And just remember, the whole point of these exercises isn't to turn into an unfeeling robot.
It's to build your emotional intelligence, to understand and manage your feelings so you can lead with a calm, rational, and principled mind.
In a world that seems to be getting more chaotic by the day, this ancient wisdom offers a truly timeless advantage. And that brings me to a final question for you. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Have you ever used these practices in your own life, maybe without even realizing it had a name? The next time you're facing a major challenge, just think about it. The playbook for your future, well, it might just be waiting for you in the past.